was born in Pyongyang, and I grew up there until when I was 10. Then when I was 10, my father made a political mistake. So my whole family, my entire family, was expelled to different city in northern part of North Korea. I believe that North Korea is the best country in the world, and then the strongest country in the world, because my life wasn't that bad. We had a good food there. And on the way to the second hometown, the train was stopped at a train station. Then I saw so many beggars, kids and old people. I was shocked. That was the first culture shock in my life in North Korea. I never saw that kind of environment. Then I asked my father, "Father, what's going on here? Where we are now?" And then he told me that we are in North Korea. And then I asked him again, "What is this?" And then my father told me that this is the reality of North Korea. It's 90% of population is living like this. So I said, "Whoa, 90%?" And I even couldn't say anything. It was too difficult to understand the reality of North Korea. And then we went to a second home. Well, there was no electricity. My father got a new job there, but he couldn't go to factory because the factory was stopped. There was no supply, and including electricity. So the workers at the factory, they usually went to mountains to get some food, kind of wild vegetables. It's lucky they caught rabbits and squirrel. So, and my father, he couldn't go to factory because there's nothing. So he just followed his friends to get some food from the mountain. And then one day I went to mountain with him. I saw a snake. First time, there was a wild snake. But I saw snake when I was in Pyongyang, was in the cage at a zoo, right? But it was wild snake. And it was so scary. And I just ran away from the snake. And then my father caught the snake. And then he made a snake stew for me. It was good. It was good. And then, and then I also, at that time I had to go to school, elementary school. It was about a second week that I enrolled another school. And then the principal has gathered students on playground, and then he announced that school will go to watch public execution this morning.
Just casually like that?
Yes. And then I asked my friend, "What's going on here? So are we going to cinema?" Because I never heard that public execution when I was in Pyongyang. So are we going to cinema? And then he responded me that, "No, we are going to public execution area." No way. And then he just told me that, "Oh man, be a man. What's wrong with that?"
So for him, that was perfectly normal.
Exactly. It wasn't first time for him. So, "Did you watch it before?" I asked him. He said, "Yeah, many times." So casual. He didn't have any emotion. There were two prisoners. One was female, the other one was male. Female, her crime was this. She crossed the border to China. And then he met South Korean missionary in China. And then she read a Bible. And then she was captured by Chinese police officer. Then she sent back to North Korea. And then her crime was high treason. Because she crossed the border, which means that she tried to abandon her country, including leader. And then she access to different ideology. which is kind of God. So that's why she got 9 shots by police officers. 9 shots, not just 1 shot, 9 shots.
And you saw all of this as a boy?
There were 3 police officers carrying guns, and then each person shoot the 3 bullets on one person. I saw her face, and after they finished the shooting, then I saw her body. It was kind of blood. It was a shocking moment ever in my life. And then I was just passed out. And then my friends, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And then I just like my mind is kind of okay. Then I saw a second prisoner. He stole the cooper from the factory, tried to smuggle to China. And her crime was high treason as well, because he tried to destroy North Korea. You know what? We should think about that. I mean, who made thief? Who made a high treasoner? I mean, the government. Because government didn't supply, government didn't provide any food to its own people. They had to survive, right? They had to survive. So that's why one of them crossed the border. One of them stole the cooper from factory and tried to sell that metal to China.
Growing up in Pyongyang, did you think it was the greatest city in the world, or you just knew nothing about the outside world?
Well, actually, I believed that it was the greatest city in the world. And then I was aware of outside of North Korea, including United States and China and Japan and Russia, even South Korea. Well, but United States were our sworn enemy. So I had to become a soldier to fight against the United States.
And you were taught this at the earliest age?
Yes. From kind of about 5 years old. Well, actually, there is a strong brainwashing system in North Korea. If you kind of, after 4 years old, you have to remember the leader's name and his birthday, and then how to bow in front of his picture. That's first education that I was taught in kindergarten. Well, I didn't know my mother's name. I didn't know my father's name. I mean, their birthday as well. But I had to know the leader's name and their birthday and their hometown. I had to memorize. I'm still remembering because that was first information that I was taught. So, well, United States was sworn enemy, and then Japan also was sworn enemy, and then South Korea is a puppet for United States, and China is our friend, but it's not that close. I was aware of outside of North Korea, but it was kind of manipulated information by the government.
Were you brainwashed as a child?
Yes, from 3, 4, because I went to kindergarten, nursery actually. I went to go to nursery when I was 3, and then brainwashing education start from there, and until you die. So, I mean, it's kind of mechanism, but you know what? Nowadays that system didn't work because I mean that time government provide food, and then people has to listen to the government. But nowadays, government cannot provide food, so people go to markets and they try to buy food from the markets. So because of that, North Koreans developed 2 mindset. First of all, they pretend respect the government in front of people, but in their private life, they don't have any respect for the government. They just care about their own life, private life, money. So if you have a lot of money in North Korea, you won't have any problem. So money talks in North Korea in socialism country.
Do you remember the first time when you were growing up that you had a moment of thought, this country isn't as great as what they're teaching me?
Well, yes, after my family was expelled to the different city, because when I went to the second hometown, then I met many friends there, and then they keep saying that North Korea is not a good country. I was really mad at them the first time, because you shouldn't say like that. But time went by time, then my attitude was changed because I saw reality. There's something wrong because I saw so many beggars, and then I saw so many, sometimes I saw some dead bodies at train station and in the market area. So I thought something wrong. So a friend of mine, we kind of did a kind of graffiti on the wall basically saying that North Korea is not a good country, like that. So, and then
If you were caught doing that, what would have happened to you?
then I will be punished by the government, or my whole family will be sent to the prison camp. So we have to kind of everyone has their own style in writing, right? So we use the stick. So we just kind of like using stick. So the police officer couldn't recognize our kind of own style in writing. So
You touched on it there in terms of the generational punishment that
Right.
they do dish out. Can you explain to us? I mean, it must be in the back of every North Korean's mind all the time, the punishments that loom.
Right. Well, actually, the mechanism of North Korea is two, as a gift and fear. If you did a good job for the leader or country, then they will get praised and they will get some gift from the government. But if you do bad thing towards government, then they will be punished by the government. But not only you, it's you and if you have daughter, if you have your family, your kids. Not only your kids, including your parents. 3 generations will be wiped out by the government. Yeah, that's North Korea. That's why many people are so afraid of the government.
When you fled North Korea, did you fear that you could have been killed?
Well, actually, my father escaped first, and then he resettled in South Korea, and then he sent a broker to North Korea. He sent many brokers, but until 6th broker failed, and 7th broker found me in North Korea, and then he had a letter, and written by my father. And then I had to trust him to see my father. And then I moved to the border between North Korea and China. And then broker bribed the soldier who was protecting border. And then soldier told us that now you guys can go. So money talks in North Korea. And then I crossed border safely. My case is really unique case. Many defectors, when they cross the border, were killed by a soldier. But my case is very unique. So I crossed border, and then I met another broker in China, and then they made a kind of a fake South Korean passport. And I went to airport, and then I got on the airplane, and then I flew to South Korea. And then, but actually, you know what? I didn't know that I was going to South Korea, because if the broker told me that I was going to South Korea, I wouldn't come. Because when I was in North Korea, there was a rumor, there was information on North Korea, on South Korea, says that, or if North Korean people go to South Korea, first of all, South Korean government treat them well with nice food, nice clothes, and everything's nice. And then they soak the information and then kill them. So if the broker told me that I was going to South Korea, I wouldn't come. But he lied to me that I was going to a city in China where my father is living. So, but the airplane landed and then I found that I was in South Korea. I was so paranoid. And then I just kneeled down, please send me back to North Korea. But he didn't do that. And then I met my father here.
After years of being brainwashed with the propaganda, what did you think the first time you saw the bright lights of Seoul?
Well, I lost 16 years in North Korea because I lived in North Korea for 16 years. And then I saw the reality of South Korea. Then the first thoughts in my head, well, I lost 16 years. And then the second question is that, how can I catch up? Actually, one example, I studied English when I was 19, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Try to remember car, banana, and apple like that.
Just describe that visual for me for the first time, because I'd imagine it was a shock to the system. You know, the lights, the fashion, the freedom. But what was it that struck you most when you first arrived in Seoul?
I mean, there's many things, but if I picked only one, then I can say identity crisis. Well, when I got to South Korea, many South Koreans says that North Koreans are their brothers and sisters. But they treat me differently as foreigners, sometimes less than that. Because I'm from North Korea, I should have their brothers and I should have their brother, right? But they treat me differently. I was born in North Korea, right? I'm pure North Korean. Now I'm living in South Korea. I'm pure South Korean with the South Korean citizenship. Then who I am. I found my identity as I'm just person from Korean Peninsula. I'm just Korean. In Korean terms, we say 한반도인, which means that a person from Korean Peninsula. That's my identity. And then with this identity, what can I do for my country? Then I should prepare for unification. I should be a bridge between South Korea and North Korea to prepare a unification, because unification has two meanings for me. Personally, it's only way to go home for me. And second is it could be great opportunity for Korean Peninsula if we prepare for unification properly. So, and then second shock is that freedom. I never had this word before when I was in North Korea. And I never thought about this because my life was very difficult to survive every day. Sometimes every day I just thought food, not freedom. I didn't have time to think about freedom. I didn't have time think about politics. I didn't have time to think about kind of cultural and society. I just think about food. My dream was to have 3 meals per day when I was on the street. That was my dream. And then when I got to South Korea, many people asked me that, you have freedom. You are living in a free country. I was really kind of mad at them. Okay, I know freedom, the words, the meaning of the itself, just word. But no, I can't feel. I cannot feel what freedom means. Also, I had to find a freedom here. So one day I went to a stationery shop, buy a pen. And then I entered the stationery shop, there was a manager, and then I asked him, where is a pen? He just pointed out over there. I went there, there's thousands of pens. I complained. Why there are so many pens? I mean, 3 or 2 is enough, right? But there's different kinds of pens, 1,000 pens. After that, I decided to sample everything. It took 2 hours.
But that was freedom.
And then I picked the one. And then before that, actually, the manager came to me. Are you going to destroy all pens? I was really ashamed of myself. And then I picked the one. And then I went to the manager, paid for the pen. And then I just ran out of the stationery shop. Something hit my head. Well, I might found freedom. For me, freedom is to choose a pen that you like. Then freedom is to choose a pen. That's freedom that I found in South Korea. I mean, I share this story with many young people in South Korea, but they don't appreciate what they have. I mean, because they were born with this opportunity. But this is not just free. I mean, it's your ancestors for having this freedom. But many people forget this precious freedom.
You touched on something interesting there about the unification. Talking to people in North Korea, they want reunification. Talking to people in South Korea, they want reunification.
Right.
Is it going to happen in our lifetime, do you think?
Well, I'm not kind of a palm leader. I'm not a fortune teller, but I cannot say the timing, but it will happen. But it's not unification, but North Korea will change. North Korea will change, in my perspective, in 20 years. There's 2 reasons that. Nowadays, North Korea, I mean, there is really slow change inside of North Korea because the people who were born kind of 1960s and 70s are controlling the North Korea. These people have nostalgia for the time under Kim Il-sung, who was first dictator of North Korea. That time, 1960s, the economy of North Korea is better than South Korea. They have nostalgia. So they believe that we might go back to this stage if we kind of stick together around our leader. These people controlling North Korea at the moment. But after 20 years later, those who were born after 1990s, there will be 40 and 50. There will be core power of society. These people, we so-called market generation. So after 20 years later, these people might spoke out. Well, I mean, look at our situation, look at our circumstances. This is not what we want. We need to change. And we have many markets, so government should change their policy. It goes kind of, the North Korea will follow Chinese model, but not exactly same, but it's kind of more North Korean style Chinese model. So in 20 years, so I calculate that maybe we'll see around 2035, 2037, 6, then there will be huge change in North Korea. That's why we have to prepare for that moment. That will be our kind of chance. If we lose that chance, then it's going to be really difficult.
I'm really interested to know, what would happen to you if you went back to Pyongyang tomorrow? What would the government do?
Public execution. Seriously. Because, I'm talking about North Korea now, right, with you. This will be on TV. North Korea will screen defectors. If I go back to North Korea...
So this interview will be shown in North Korea and They'll say this man's a disgrace.
Exactly. If I go back to North Korea, first of all, North Korean government maybe torture me. And then they force me to announce a certain kind of a script written by the government.
You don't seem scared by this.
About this?
Yeah, about the prospect of torture.
Well, actually, somebody has to tell this. The truth. North Korean government tried to hide the truth. They try to hide the sky with their palms. But they cannot hide everything. Somebody who have this kind of experience had to share their story to the world. The international community should open their eyes and spoke out and then tell something to the government, North Korean government.
In your opinion, what's the best way for the rest of the world to save the North Korean people? Is it military intervention?
No. It creates more problem. If international community attack North Korea, the people will stick together around its leader, and then they will fight until the last person exists. Military intervention cannot be solution, but my solution is to send information. Give them power. Give them power to North Korean people living inside North Korea.
So knowledge is power for them.
Exactly. So give them information and then make them choose their future. So how can we send the information? USB and balloon? No, it's gonna be really old-fashioned. Use technology, which is use a satellite or balloon. Google, they kind of spread a Wi-Fi to a third country where it doesn't have Wi-Fi signal, right? Use that technology. North Korean people have about 15% or 20% have smartphone, but they don't have internet access. That's why they cannot access outside of world. Well,
are they craving information from the outside world, or are they happy just to have the information bubble that they live in?
Well, their curiosity it's much higher than that. Because, one example, when I was in UK for my master program, I met the ambassador to North Korea. He told me that, I asked him, so what was the request from North Korean government every week? The North Korean government keep asking that, please change your Wi-Fi password every week, which means that somebody try to hack their passport and try to access information from outside. So, there is needs for information in North Korea. So we use technology. South Korea has really good technology. United States have good technology, right? International community puts some fund and then buy some balloon or satellites, send to North Korea, and then give them signals. They will access to the information.
So don't bombard North Korea with missiles, bombard them with information and knowledge.
Yes. Knowledge has power. It's stronger than weapon. We need a preparation for war every single moment, right? We need a military option, but it cannot be solution. We can threaten them, but it cannot solve the problem. We deter them, but we cannot build peace.
Why do you think North Korea is so hell-bent on developing nuclear weapons?
For their lives. North Korean government, they don't care about the people's life in North Korea. They just try to protect their regime. They did a nuclear test 6 times, right? That's a lot. People who live nearby the nuclear test sites, they got some disease because of that. So nowadays, people claiming that we have some mysterious disease these days, but the government never announced that this is because of nuclear test. So it's very ironic, right? Protect their people. They have to build nuclear weapon, but testing nuclear weapon, they're
killing their own people.
Yeah, they're killing their own people. So what's the point? So I can say it's only for their regime, their brutal regime.
Do you think Kim Jong-un has seen the likes of Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi before him who didn't have nuclear weapons and got toppled? It was too easy for the Americans, and he said, not me.
Actually, Kim Jong-il said that. I'm not Saddam Hussein. I'm not Gaddafi. We had a really good lesson from some cases. That's why we have to develop nuclear weapon. We have to stick kind of nuclear weapon, not only nuclear weapon, kind of chemical weapon and biological weapon. I believe that they have nuclear weapon at the moment. And also FBI said that North Korea might have 30 nuclear weapons. My guess, my expectation is that they will do ICBM tests because they want hit United States if United States attack North Korea. That's why they need the technology for ICBM. So they will do many tests for developing ICBM in the future.
What do you think of Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un? Well, international community keeps saying that Kim Jong-un is very unpredictable. He's very irrational. But my perspective, Kim Jong-un is very predictable. He's very rational.
Is he smart?
Yes, in terms of protecting its own regime. Kim Jong-un has his own path. He's walking on the path.
Is his path just survival, though, keeping the regime going?
Yes. And he's smart. That's why he's developing nuclear weapon. If he's dumb, he will not develop nuclear weapon. I mean, he tried to kind of try to build what is sealed for himself.
Do you think he wants war?
Well, he knows that. He knows that if the war will happen between United States and North Korea, he knows that he will lose his position. He will be killed by United States. He knows that. He will not attack United States first. He will not attack South Korea first. But if South Korea and United States kind of try to use military option, then they will attack. Because I mean, there's a saying in Korean term, if there is a cat and kind of mice, if mice is kind of pushed back and pushed towards the wall, mice can bite cat. But cat will not die, but cat will be injured. Mice, of course, die.
So Kim Jong-un is the mouse.
Yes.
So he's going to go down swinging, effectively.
Yes. Yes, he's very. That's why he's a really smart guy. That's why he's a really smart guy. He's not irrational. He's rational. He's very clever. He's very clever. But they cannot hide everything. I told you, they try to hide the sky with their palms, but sky is still blue, right? They cannot hide the truth forever.